Hey, it's Charlie Ray. Welcome to another video. Today we are crocheting this blue hat. You will need a darker color and a lighter color. I'm using Karen acrylic number 4 weight yarn. Also a random white number 4 weight yarn. You also need scissors, a crochet hook, and something to wrap your yarn around for your poms. So let's get started with a magic ring. I just do my yarn this way, pop the needle in, and start stitching. This works for me. So you want to crochet 3 chains, and then you're going to double crochet 11 more, as the first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. Once you've done that, you can close up your magic ring and slip stitch your work together. Chain 3 and then double crochet in that same stitch, and then you're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch going around, so you'll end up with 24. Once you finish that and slip stitch that close, you're going to chain 3 and then single crochet in that same stitch. Then you're going to double crochet in the next stitch. In the next stitch, you'll single crochet and double crochet in the same stitch. Basically, what we are doing here is we are alternating putting 1 stitch into a chain and then 2 stitches into a chain, so that we are increasing every other stitch. But we are also alternating between a single crochet and a double crochet in order to give this hat some texture. You're going to continue doing that all the way around. So once you get to the other side and you slip stitch that closed, then you are going to put a single crochet on top of the double crochet, and you are going to alternate around 1 stitch in each stitch that you made, but the opposite of what it is. So if you're starting with a single crochet, then the next one is a double, and then a single, and then a double. And you continue that all the way around without any increases. Once you have completed this row, we are going to go back to doing double crochets, but we are going to be increasing. So after your slip stitch, you are going to chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet. Then you are going to double crochet in that same space for your first increase. Then you're going to double crochet in the next 2 spaces or stitches, and then you will increase again, so 2 double crochets in this one. And you are going to continue doing that all the way around. So we are going to continue this pattern of increases for the next 3 rounds. So this one, we did an increase and then 2 singles. The next one, you'll do an increase and 3 singles. The next one, an increase and 4 singles. And finally, an increase and 5 singles. And this is where you should end up. So now we're going to add 3 more textured rows without increasing. So you are going to chain 3, and then you're going to single crochet in the next stitch and then double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to continue alternating this pattern all the way around. Okay, so now we are going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So you are going to turn the hat around, and you are going to single crochet and double crochet, alternating, going in the opposite direction. Once you've completed that round, you are going to turn it back in the initial direction we were going in, and you are going to once again do this same textured pattern of alternating single and double crochets. So you'll have a total of 3 of these rows, one going right side, one going wrong, and another one going right side. Okay, so once you have that completed and you have slip stitched it all together, you should have a textured row that looks something like this. Next, we are going to half double crochet in each stitch going around. And that's all we need to do for this round. So the next round is a different textured stitch. Chain 3, yarn over, pull through a loop, and you are going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through a loop, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through a loop, and pull through 2. So you should have 4 stitches on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those. Then you're going to single crochet in the very next stitch. You're going to single crochet in another stitch after that one. So 2 single crochets in a row. And then you're going to chain 2, which I forgot to do on this one, but I did on the subsequent stitches. And it still came out fine. I didn't notice it until I was editing, but that's okay. Mistakes happen. You are going to continue this pattern all the way around, and you will have these nice little puff stitches. They're not too puffy, but they do give the hat texture, and they give it a little bit of a ridge at the top so that it sits a little better on your head. With that textured row completed, you can chain 1, yarn over, and double crochet into that same stitch. And then you are going to double crochet around in each stitch for this entire round. So now we need to bring this in a little bit. So we are going to decrease. So you want to chain 1, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn, pull through a loop, and in the next one pull through a loop, then yarn over and pull through 3, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2. Then you are going to double crochet in the next 4 chains or stitches, and then you are going to decrease again, and you're going to do that all the way around. This round is just like the last one, except now you're going to do 3 singles and then a decrease. And you're going to do that all the way around for this entire round. You are going to follow this round with 1 more round of double crochets, no decreases or increases, and then it's time to add some of this white yarn. So we're just going to cut the other one off, attach this yarn with a single crochet, and then make sure that you hold it so you can the end so you can just weave it in as you go, and you're going to have double crochet for this entire round. After finishing this round, you can cut that white yarn and weave in that end. Place the hat on your head, and behind your ears place 2 stitch markers, and or you can just eyeball it, and you can use the larger side for the front and a smaller side for the back. It's time to add in the front flap. So grab your darker colored yarn and go ahead and attach that. We are going to be doing front post, back post crochets, double crochets. So you are going to attach your yarn, make 2 more chains, then you're going to yarn over and put your yarn through the front post and then the back post by putting it up through the stitch that you're in and then down into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull that through, and just double crochet as usual. You are going to do this all the way across until you get to your other stitch marker or whichever spot you decided to stop at for your hat. Once you've made it to the other stitch marker, you can go ahead and remove it if you used one. Then you are going to chain 2, turn your work, and we are going to front post and back post again, but make sure that you are matching up your stitches with the ones below it. So if the one below it is a front post in the direction that you're looking in, make that one a front post also, and vice versa, so that your stitches stack up in the way I'm doing here. For this row, after you have made your initial chain, you are going to double crochet into that same stitch, and then you're going to continue across, making your front post and back post double crochets. To make the dangles for the pom-poms, you are going to chain 30 instead of 2. And when you have all 30 chains, you are going to skip the first one and slip stitch into the next one. Then you will continue to slip stitch in each one of these chains all the way back down to the hat. Once you get back down to the hat, you are going to slip stitch across until you get to the other corner of your darker color. So you're going to go ahead and chain 30 once you get to that corner, and the same thing, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and make your way all the way back down to the hat. Once you get there, you are going to slip stitch all the way across back to the corner where the other dangle starts, and that is where we are going to bind off. But we just want to make sure that these are really secure because they get pulled on a lot. Okay, so now it's time to add our poms to the dangles and also to the top. So I am using this sticky note pad, and I'm showing you the size so you can have a reference for how mine came out for whatever you might choose to use. So you are going to just wrap your yarn around the short side. I did this 30 times with the white. Then I did this another 30 times with the darker blue yarn. And then finally 30 times again with the white yarn. Once I had all of those wrapped up, I just slid the yarn off. Then I took another piece of yarn and used it to tie all of this together. So I just slid it under the bottom. Make sure you tie it several times. I did mine about 3 or 4 times in each direction, but I'm only going to show a couple of times here. Once you have it all tied up, you can go through and cut all the loops holding it from the center. Next, you want to fluff it out to the sides, but flatten it into sort of a disc shape so that you can snip off the edges to make your pom-pom more uniform. Then you are going to pick a different direction and flatten it out in that direction and do the same thing. This helps to just even out the yarn more. You don't have to do this step, but I chose to do it for mine. It's also a good time to find any stray loops that missed your initial cutting and go ahead and get those cut. After that, just fluff it up and you are ready to sew on your pom-poms. Use a double thread with your sewing needle. Put it through the end of your dangle, tie it on, and do some other additional ties as well to make sure it's really secure. Then you can just make sure you go through the center and pull your needle through the pom. in one direction and then go back through the pom in the opposite direction. You want to do this multiple times, and be sure that you start going from the side the hat is on towards the outside. Once you are done, you can cut your yarn off, leaving some extra yarn. Then you want to tie that on. Again, do multiple ties. Once that's all secure, you can cut off any excess yarn from your tie. That pom-pom's done. Now let's do the others. So I went the long way to make a larger pom for the top of the hat. Here's a quick measurement reference in case you need it. So I planned on making this pom much fluffier, but I only had enough to go around 92 times, I believe, and I wanted to do 120. And this was the end of my yarn, so this is what I got. Again, just slide that off, tie it up nice and tight multiple times. Then you can just spread the yarn apart a little bit in order to go in the opposite direction. I don't see a lot of people do this, but I think it helps to secure the pom-pom. So just put your yarn you're using to tie it with through those sides that you just opened up and flip it. Tie it up multiple times. Then go ahead and cut your loops again. And it's the same process from there. Just spread your yarn out. Cut off the excess to even it out. Fluff your pom-pom out a little and flatten it out in a different direction so that you can even it out a little more. Again, this is an optional step, but one I chose to take. And next, all we have to do is secure it to our hats. So if you made your thread longer, you can use that to sew the whole thing on. I just used my crochet needle to pull it through the loop, and I tied it in multiple places, weaved in the edges, and enjoyed my hat. I hope you liked this video. Please like or subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.